The wage gap is very much a real thing. It has not been debunked. It is not a myth. The wage gap is real and it exists. Men and women are earning different things in the workforce, and men are still out earning women. And it is worst amongst mothers and fathers. This is when the gap widens the most. It is called the motherhood penalty. When a woman has a child, her lifetime earnings decrease. And with every child she has under the age of 5, they decrease even more. Whereas fathers have what's called the fatherhood premium. When they have children, their wages increase. So it's widening the gap. Men's wages increase, women's wages decrease when they become parents. Isn't that interesting? That we no longer view women as valuable in the workforce or worth their wage, essentially, once they become a mother. But dads, on the other hand, we do. And that's because societally, we view men as providers. We view them as family men. If they have a family and they have children, then they deserve more money. And here's the interesting thing. They don't just out-earn mothers. They're not just out earning women, they're out earning men without children. When men become fathers, they earn more money than men without children. The wage gap still very much exists, and so much of this is rooted in our societal conditioning and the biases we have towards men and women in the workforce and also in the home. We view men as providers and family men who need to be able to put food on the table, and we view women's place as being in the home. And so once they have children, we no longer see them as dedicated, hardworking individuals who deserve to earn the same amount as men, even if they're doing the same job. And it's interesting, oftentimes people will point to the fact that women are out of the workforce. Women are out of the workforce because they had those babies and they take parental leave. And oftentimes they're taking parental leave that maybe is available to them through their state or through their employer. And it's the same as medical leave or something like that. Men often don't take that because they're afraid of being punished, which is why this gap continues to widen. One of the craziest things about this is so often when you have children as a woman, people will encourage you to stay at home while your children are young. They'll encourage you to stay home, be with the kids while they're young, and when they get to public school, you can go back to the workforce. Then they paint this picture that that's possible for you. But what that does is that decreases your earnings even further. It puts women even more financial risk than if they just took their regular maternity leave, which is already quite short. And so it's interesting. The motherhood penalty exists whether or not you have 6 months of paid leave or 2 weeks of paid leave or no paid leave, because so many women don't have it. And then they're encouraged to leave the workforce. And then when they try to come back, people say, well, that's a huge gap on your resume. You haven't been in the workforce. We're going to start you back at zero. When you graduated college, you'll be making very little money, and best of luck trying to get back to where you were. You are not going to out-earn men in this industry because you have been set back. Because we told you that you should stay home and that you could come back, but we didn't mean that. That was a lie. And so, yes, the wage gap still very much exists to sum that all up.